Good afternoon, everyone. I am your proud and humble leader of the Hounds of Business community, Mike Asherbrander, and you are rolling with the Hounds of Business with Mike King Biz Radio on 106.1 FM ESPN RVA. So glad you guys tuned in with us. And Mike King, thank you for what you do, brother. You push up your community, and now you're international. Our partnership is amazing. I appreciate you. Just like when they put PB and J in the same jar, dadgummit. Remember that? I'm still talking about it. Was that 20 years ago? All right. So I tell you what, we have a very special guest, and not just a guest, but the founder of a movement, worldwide movement, Kindness Worldwide. Super excited, beyond belief excited to bring this to you, this story, and what this organization and mission is doing right now in the world. We need it now more than ever. I know that sounds cliche, dadgummit, but hey, we do. So buckle up. We're going to roll the new video, and then we will get Kevin up here right away.
In a bit of a pickle. Don't you worry about a thing. You ain't alone in this. You're just a success story waiting to happen. Trust me on that. Every bump in the road is just an opportunity wearing a clever disguise. Welcome to the Hounds of Business community, where we don't just sit around twiddling our thumbs. Nope. We turn those obstacles into mighty fine stepping stones. This here's a place where high-level entrepreneurs and sharp professionals gather to grow their businesses and mindsets, kind of like how a good old gumbo needs the right ingredients to be something special. Ideas thrive here, and collaborations, well, they're as natural as sweet tea on a hot day. Success, it's a journey, and we're fixing to walk that road right beside you. Now, don't forget to follow us on LinkedIn for all the latest tips and insights. We're talking about the kind of wisdom that'll keep you ahead of the game. And while you're at it, head on over to our YouTube channel. We've got ourselves a treasure trove of videos, from expert interviews to webinars, everything you need to stay sharp in this fast-moving world of business. The Hounds of Business community? Well, we ain't just a network, we're a movement. So why not come on and be part of something bigger? Join us today and let's turn your business journey into a real Southern success story. Together, we'll achieve greatness, just like crawfish and singing on a Friday night.
Crawfish and singing on a Friday night. I'll never get over that, man. Yeah, look at Kevin's face. Radio, y'all can't see Kevin's face. But welcome to the show, Kevin. We have a big crowd already, man. They came for you. They didn't come for me. Check us out. April Wyatt is here. Royce Blake, always a pleasure. Sam Hall. I think I'm going to see Sam today on our group call. We got David Hanson. Pleasure meeting you. I'm from Southern California. So Kevin Smith, hey, welcome to the show. How are you today, my friend?
I'm doing great, Mike. How about yourself?
You can't tell? Oh, my goodness. This is me calm. This is me with the fall allergies kicking my butt, but I'm too excited to care about it. So, man, we got to dive right in, Kevin. I met you through the one and only Dr. New, who is our kindness queen. And that is funny because now she's officially the ambassador of Kindness Worldwide, which makes total sense to everybody who ever met her. So appreciate you coming on. Jump right into this. Let me set the backdrop because you're a little modest. All right, I had to do the research. Very successful guy, ran a very successful business in finance. So that makes two of us. I haven't got to your level yet, so I'm not worthy, buddy. So, yeah, I look up to you. But then life's good. Now think about this. Everybody driving right now, if it's Friday and you're on the radio and you're listening in your car or you're doing work, and if you're on the live stream, life is good for you, Kevin, right? Life is fine, man. You built this big empire. You're doing great. You're a happy man. You got a family, all this stuff. And then something happened, totally changed your life recently. Go ahead.
Yeah, you bet. Well, thanks again, Mike. And well, the truth is, and I appreciate the accolades and the shout out and whatnot, but the truth is I'm just an ordinary guy who was touched by the actions of an ordinary woman who did an extraordinary thing. She was kind. On Good Friday morning, 2023, my wife, Ann, gave me a simple honey-do list to go to the grocery store to pick up 2 items. How hard is that? Well, leave it to me to not get it right. I picked up the 2 items just fine. It was a McDonald's gift card as a birthday present to my niece and shrimp cocktail sauce for a party we were hosting that evening. So I purchased the 2 items. I check out. I drive straight home. Pull in my driveway at 9:55 a.m. Based upon the Ring doorbell footage, and walk inside. My honey-do list is over. I have the rest of my day free. Life is good. I reach for my back pocket, and my wallet is missing. And,
Oh,
uh, you can imagine the feeling. I knew I had to have left it behind because I checked out and drove straight home. And I frantically search my car, hoping it's there. It's not. And literally at the moment my finger is on the panic button, which was the ignition button of my car, like an angel out of heaven, a young Good Samaritan woman magically appears holding my. It was at 9:57 a.m. based upon our Ring doorbell camera footage. She returned my wallet immediately without hesitation the moment she found it. She literally went the extra mile, so to speak, 2.6 miles from the store to my home. And I was just overwhelmed by what had just happened. You go from this moment of kind of despair. People think it's only money. Well, it's more than that. It's time, it's inconvenience. If you're placing credit cards, it's photos in many cases of lost loved ones. And
oh, it's
so,
awful. It's like going to the dentist, right? It's awful.
yeah,
Go ahead.
absolutely. I think I'd rather get my teeth pulled out.
Yeah, without Novocaine, it's awful. Yeah,
There
go
you
ahead.
go. But I was just overwhelmed by what had just happened. I thanked her profusely. I offered her a monetary reward. She refused to accept it. And as she was about to drive away, I had the impulse to ask her name, and she said it was Brooke. And so I walked back inside and I felt, wow. I mean, this woman literally went above and beyond to return my wallet. I should have gone the extra mile for her in some way. A mere thank you didn't seem enough. So I impulsively, kind of reflexively, emailed the local news organizations. I emailed all of them. And I thought, look, this just inspired me. If you cover this story, it might inspire others. But more importantly, if they cover the story, it was a way of acknowledging this young woman in a more meaningful way if she saw the story.
Right.
Well, within 7 minutes, a local reporter from WGAL Channel 8 in Lancaster replied. She said, I agree, Kevin, we need more good news. And she came to my home the following Monday to do an interview. The interview aired that evening. And the next thing I knew, it became a story in practically every state in the country. It went viral, which, it's kind of sad in a way because it shows with all the negativity in the world, it doesn't take much good news to make news. I mean, who would have thought a lost wallet would make national headlines, which it did.
It happens every day, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And the positivity that it evoked on social media, all the positive comments was so uplifting. And yet I wondered, does this young woman even know this story exists? Which is why I reached out to the news in the first place. And it bothered me that she may not be aware of it. Well, it was a long shot. Again, all I knew was her first name, Brooke. And I assumed it was spelled with an E, had no idea. But can you imagine how many Brooks there are on Facebook, Mike?
Yeah, do you know E or no E? That even makes it worse, man.
Yeah, I assumed it was an E, and thankfully my instincts were correct. I mean, my instincts have guided this entire journey, and then my instincts haven't let me down yet, and that was one of them. So I scrolled and scrolled for countless minutes under the name Brooke with an E, and I'm about to give up, literally about to give up. And all of a sudden, I see a profile picture of a young woman and her dog that caught my eye. I thought maybe it looks like her, not sure. So I messaged her on Facebook with a link to the story. I said, are you the Brooke in the story? Sure enough, Hail Mary Pass connected, and it was her.
Wait. Real quick. Don't everybody out there. You lost your wallet, you got it back, you go on about your day. No, not Kevin Smith. No, not Kevin Smith. He wants to know who is this person? Goes to all these great links. I'll understand this. Like I can see people if they were watching you going, "What's wrong with that guy?" Right? Like, what's right? Why is he going so crazy over this? Yet, oh, did we lose you? Uh-oh. We have technical difficulty. What's going on? Somebody comment. Can you see me and did Kevin freeze? Yep, it's Kevin. Let's see if we can get him back. You back?
I'm back. Technical issues, modern technology. Go figure.
Man, the aliens got you. That's what it was. So I was just I want people to emphasize. I want them to know. Listen, hey, David Hanson, good to see you. Elisa, pleasure you being here. Look, I can imagine watching you going, "What's wrong with this guy?" Like why why is he going so crazy out of this? But keep listening. Go ahead, Kevin. I want to make sure people understand. The next time something happens in their life, just don't turn an eye to it. Don't say, "Oh," because who knows what'll happen. Go ahead. Oh no, Did the internet gremlins get him again? Dadgummit. All right. So while we're trying to get Kevin back from from the internet aliens, I want y'all to understand he went to great lengths to find the person. All right. And then, like you said, the national news story was going to come out. And then something happened and they never got to it. Right. But he just kept searching for it. Come on, Kevin, come back. Let me see. Let me see. Thank you all for the patience. And by the way, audience, if you're on the live, try to fill this in for us. Next time, did you ever have something that happened that was inconvenient, crazy, but then you turned back around and pursued it, and it was the best thing you could possibly ask for, right? That's how I there he is. Goodness gracious.
Going to plan
Fingers
B. I'm
crossed.
going back to my iPad, so I apologize about that. I'm not sure where you left off or what you might have shared, but happy to fill in any gaps.
I was rambling and praying you'd come back because nobody tells this story like you, Kevin. So just amplify the voice. You're not screaming at us. Go ahead. Finish up his story because this is amazing. And folks in the audience, if you're live, comment. All right, ask questions if you want to. This is the show. Go ahead. Go ahead, Kevin.
Yeah, well, like I said, Hail Mary Pass Connected found this young woman, and she was very modest and humble throughout. I was struck by her humility. As she put it, I'm just a blurry face, because they blurred out her face in the news segment to protect her identity. But it was not to shield her from credit. She actually thanked me for thanking her. But that comment struck with me. I'm like, she's more than a blurry face. She's the one who did this kind act, inspired all this positivity. But at least I knew she was aware of the segment. But I still felt there's more I should do to make sure she's not the blurry face. I wasn't sure what to do, but I felt there's something more yet I should do. Well, a day or two later, I get an email from Inside Edition. And Inside Edition became aware of the story, one of the nation's most syndicated, longest running news programs, millions of viewers. And they asked if I knew who Brooke was and if she'd be willing to do an interview with the two of us together. Of course, I agreed to, because I was excited because she won't be the blurry face anymore. Inside Edition is going to interview the two of us.
Right.
And that interview was scheduled for a Friday. But at the last minute, it was postponed. Another storyline emerged. And it went on the back burner with the understanding it would be rescheduled. Well, it never did. And evidently the media had moved on, but I didn't. I'm like, there's more I must do. But again, still struggled with what to do. Well, again, as fate and circumstance would have it, one of countless coincidences on this journey, I had a meeting with York County SPCA Executive Director Stephen Martinez on April 25th. This is just a couple of weeks after this happened. It was on our schedule long before the events of Good Friday morning. I used to be on the board of directors of the York County SPCA. Stephen would update me on the organization from time to time. So we had a meeting in downtown York at Prince Street Cafe, and Stephen is late for the meeting. And he apologized profusely for being late. Would you believe it was because he lost his wallet?
Did y'all hear that? He's late to the meeting because he lost his wallet, just like Kevin did. That started this whole thing. You can't make this up. Go ahead.
Can't make it up. And I just shook my head. I said, Stephen, did you hear about my lost wallet story? Which he hadn't. He was probably the only one in York County who hadn't heard the story by then. And when I shared with him how I discovered this young woman due to the profile picture of her dog, he made a comment that really resonated with me. He said, you know, Kevin, I've always felt that pets are like social glue that bond people and communities together. And I agree with that. I'm an animal lover. And on the drive home, something said there's something more. There's some other connection. And I searched her Facebook feed again, and I discovered that she was passionate about animals like I am, but also passionate about the York County SPCA. And that is the moment where the idea of making a donation in Brooke's honor to the York County SPCA and the idea of a community celebration of kindness at which she would be honored took root. And from that point in time, it just took on a life of its own. It became the adventure of a lifetime because I started to think about, well, what does a community celebration of kindness entail? I'm like, well, why don't we officially recognize a kindness week? It occurred to me on this journey, we have days, weeks, even months to celebrate a lot of things. And I read where it was National French Fry Day. And look, Mike, I like French fries. Who doesn't like French fries? But too many French fries, not good.
can never have too much kindness. So I thought, well, why don't I reach out to the York County Commissioner to see if they'll proclaim a kindness week? And then I'm like, well, why not go to the neighboring county of Adams County? And why not go to Governor Shapiro in York City? And I would have kept going if I wouldn't have run out of time. So we have formally recognized a kindness week. And I thought, well, why don't we make blood donation, a core element of Kindness Week? Veterans Day falls within Kindness Week, which is always the Saturday before World Kindness Day to the Saturday after. It's November 9th to 16th this year. What better way to honor our veterans than to donate blood, show our gratitude and respect for their service? And it's a great symbolic way of paying an act of kindness forward. It costs nothing other than our time, can literally save lives. So let's do blood donation. And I thought, well, why don't we have a new model, a new paradigm for community policing? Kindness citations. Let's have a mechanism for our police to see the good in our communities that defines our communities, and for our communities to see the good in our police that defines our police department. So kindness citations became a thing. And all these ideas just kept coming and coming to a point, it all got to a level where I had no choice really but to start the nonprofit Kindness Worldwide. And that was through another coincidence with my brother-in-law, Michael Binko. I mean, there's so many stories within the story, Mike. Each and any one would be fascinating in their own right. So the story of Kindness Worldwide itself is a beautiful story, but there are so many stories within the story that would blow you away.
Yeah, and by the way, you are rolling with Mike King Biz, ESPN 106.1 FM RVA. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the folks in the live stream. Hounds of Business, right? Business is hard. Don't make it harder, right? Don't do it alone. If you like, just like Kevin here, just like Kindness Worldwide, it's real simple. All right, kindnessworldwide.org. If you're on the radio, you're listening, tuning in, go check that out. Kindness Week is just around the corner. We're about to dive into it. But listen, we attract folks like this, people who want to do something, be somebody, do something special, make an impact in the world as much as we can. Problem is that most folks lack the resources and support to get it done. That's where the Hound steps in, Kevin. So we are more than happy to partner and work with and help support you and what you've got going on. Send me or anybody in the audience right now. We can go to Hounds of Business on YouTube. You can find us on LinkedIn. Shoot us a message. We have a group call. So you get to know us, our media network, all the good things that we can do to find other heart-centered, high-level professionals just like Kevin. So, Kevin, back to the story. So there's a lot of stories. That's why I said, man, 30 minutes, man, it's just an opener. But it was your brother-in-law, is an accomplished businessman, and he looked at all these writings you just happened to put together and said, wow, dude, you got a whole business model here. And you're like, what? I just got a bunch of pieces of paper. And you're like, no. Do y'all see when you create the ecosystem with the right heart and mindset? You couldn't have planned this in a million years, Kevin, right?
Absolutely right. Well, Kindness Worldwide is an ecosystem model. I always say it's not my nonprofit, it's ours. It's not a me endeavor, it's a we endeavor. But the story of Kindness Worldwide, the reality of it is that there would be no Kindness Worldwide were it not for Michael Binko. He's my brother-in-law, but he's also one of the most brilliant entrepreneur minds in the country. That's what he does for a living. He advises startup companies. Entrepreneurship's always been very important to him. And in this journey, the York County SPCA asked me to put my objectives down in writing, because initially this event was going to be at the York County SPCA. It later outgrew the York County SPCA. We moved it to Wellspan Park, the home of the York Revolution professional baseball team in York. But along the way, the SPCA asked me to write my objectives down in writing. And meanwhile, my wife said I should really start making a timeline of all the people I was meeting with, because I was meeting with people day after day, sharing my ideas, sharing my vision of what I felt was possible. And I stopped counting about 300 people by last summer. And so at the time, this document was about 50 or 60 pages. And coincidentally, I had it laying on my dining room table. My brother-in-law was up for a family weekend. I'm sitting in my corner chair, in my comfy chair. I'm in my happy place. I got a coffee to my left. I got my dog Bella, by my side at my right. I'm just trying to decompress. I mean, I'm sprinting a marathon, literally going 180 miles an hour every minute of every day. I just wanted this event to be over. I wanted to get my life back. I want to get back to that life of comfort. I've never been more uncomfortable in my life. This has totally stressed me beyond my comfort zone. So I'm spent. I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law is reading this document. And after reading it for like 45 minutes, he looks up at me and he says, Kevin, he says, do you realize you have created in 5 months a sustainable, replicable model that has a higher probability of success than even the most promising startup companies he's ever worked with takes 5 years or more to do. And I looked at him like, what model? Like, what are you talking about? I'm just trying to plan an event, acknowledge this young woman. I was trying to get all my life. What are you talking about? He says, Kevin, this model for kindness and Kindness Week. He said, this is something that can be brought to communities anywhere and everywhere. He said, our world needs us right now. He says, you could bring people and communities together all over the world with this model you've created locally in York. He said, you can't stop at York. You've got to create a nonprofit. And I looked at him, Mike, and at that moment, I mean, I knew it was very special locally. And I believe in the character of my home community. I knew they'd come together as they did in a magical way last year. But when he said that, for the first time, I started to get it. I started to see it more broadly. And this is no exaggeration. My head went down. My shoulders sank, because I knew in that moment my life would never be the same. And I would never get back to that pre-Good Friday morning, 2023 period where I was comfortable. But, we're not called to be comfortable. We're called to be anything but. I mean, love is sacrifice. And I see a way to make a difference, make an impact. And if I didn't pursue it to the extent that I knew it could be in that moment, that my brother-in-law wisely pointed out, I knew I'd be part of the problem and not part of the solution. So that was really where it became clear I've got to start a nonprofit. And my brother-in-law is a big picture thinker. And I'm originally thinking, well, what do we call the nonprofit? Kindness Pennsylvania, Kindness York. And he looks up and he says, well, Kindness Worldwide's available. There it is. And I'm like, Kindness Worldwide, really, Michael? I mean, that's pretty bold. I mean, I'm a guy. I'm like, but I'm also a go big or go home kind of guy. But this is really out there. And it's like, no.
Right now, I'm kindness down the street guy right now. Yeah, so worldwide, that's a big jump, brother. I hear you.
But he was right, because this has launched a global movement. I just got back from Palermo, Italy. I gave a keynote address to the General Assembly of the World Kindness Movement, over 40 nations represented. And this Kindness Week Worldwide movement, we just announced Delphi, Australia, or Delphi, Greece, the navel of the world. The mayor's proclaiming Kindness Week Worldwide. It's going to be in Australia. It's going to be in multiple states, multiple municipalities in my home county of York. So this model of kindness literally has started a movement that's going literally all over the world. And Kindness Worldwide has a vision to create a culture of kindness in communities throughout the world. One element of that is our signature initiative, Kindness Week Worldwide. But there's many other tactical elements as part of that vision. We can use music as a great way of bringing people and communities together. We have an initiative called Music Collaboration that we're going to launch next year. It's going to be groundbreaking. We can use artistic creation, fashion, to bring people and communities together. We can teach kindness in our schools. There's kindness curriculums. Obviously, we have the kindness citations. But there are so many means of bringing people and communities together besides just symbolically recognizing it. And that's what Kindness Worldwide is all about.
Wow. The police, all right, so we got to have fun, that, because I want folks to go to kindnessworldwide.org. That kindnessworldwide.org, check it out. There's multiple ways. You can share this with folks. You can restream things. You can champion events, repost events. You can, I'm assuming donate. There's all kinds of ways to do it. And if you go to this website, you'll see our very own Dr. New and other people. This is a really fun thing. So here's the funnest part to me. Police are really giving kind of citations there. Could you imagine getting pulled over and you're like, oh, what did I do? Right. And then they're like, hey, you're a good person. You're like, what? And this is spread fast. So what do you attribute? First of all, you said something. I love the audience to chime in on the comments. You said, I knew in that moment that my life will never be the same. It will never, you know, but that's the fork in the road. Right. So what was it in you, if you can even define it in words, Kevin, that said, you know what? I, I don't even know if I'm ready, because I had the same moment, right? I'm like, oh, wow. It's either all in or all out, right? What was it inside you that made you go here? Because you had to go and get your business, all in order so it can keep running and all. It's not easy. What was it that said, hey, I'm going to pursue this. I'm going to go sleepless nights away from family, do all of this stuff, speak in all these countries, be on the Hound show and 50. Why? We got to know why. What is it?
Well, I've always lived my life like with a belief that the meaning of life is to live it in a way to make a meaningful difference. And I've applied that principle or those values throughout my career and my life. And never in my wildest dreams would have imagined that fate and circumstances and losing my wallet would open up a path to make a meaningful difference as broadly as it has and as it will. And you touched on it. Yogi Berra once said, "When you come across a fork in the road, take it." And I've always felt that I want to live my life in a way with no regrets. Yes, I've had a lot of fears in this journey. I've never been more uncomfortable in my life, knowing what was ahead, what's in store. Still am to a large degree. But I just had to learn to become comfortable being uncomfortable. And because I don't want to look back and regret. If there's an opportunity to make a difference, I want to give it my all. I've always been a go big or go home kind of guy. And I don't want to look back and say, look, there was an opportunity here with everything going on in the world, everything that divides us, all the divisiveness has got to stop. There's so much more that unites us and brings us together. We need to celebrate, we need to embrace. And if this can open up a pathway and an avenue to do that, then look, I'm all in. And, I've always felt, look, all of our days are limited. Every day is a gift that we each have. And what we choose to do with that gift is up to us. None of us know what tomorrow is going to bring, but I know, as for me personally, it's all about legacy. As I get older, you become aware of how precious life is, and I've lost loved ones over the years. But I'd like to think, in some small way, that whenever my time on this earth is over, that I leave the world a little bit better place because I lived it than had I had not. And to me, Kindness Worldwide is that legacy. And again, it's not my nonprofit, it's ours. I need to build an organization. I have a model. I certainly need support. Kindness is free. The movement costs nothing, but there are things we want to do to create a culture of kindness that are going to require resources. And for me to build an organization to do that, we're looking for sponsors. We're looking for those who believe in this vision, who want to be part of this vision. So there's a sponsorship model. But there's so many ways people can get engaged through volunteer efforts, through just embracing the spirit of the week itself, limited only by the bounds of imagination and creativity. There's plenty of resources on the website. There's toolkits. The proclamation of Kindness Week is written. We can bring the magic this week to every community. In my remarks in Palermo, I called on elected leaders at all levels, all regions throughout the world, all communities, including the United Nations, to really elevate kindness to the shared value that represents all of humanity. And we're all in this together. We're all part of this global community together. And each and every one of us can play a small part to make our world a better place. And that's really all I'm trying to do.
Wow, well said. Hey, thank you for everyone, Hounds, friends of the Hounds, right? Send us a DM, connect with us, man. Look who we get to work with. Right? We get to build our businesses, grow, uh, pushing each other up. No pitch slapping with a P, no spamming people, none of that. Right? Just hey, introductions. You do good things, you care, you help out somebody like Dr. New, and what does she do? Introduce you to a Kevin Smith. Wow, that's way better than 100 coffee chats hoping to sell somebody that don't want to be sold. So thank you, Kevin, for your example. I appreciate you. All the folks in the comments, thank you for support. Positivity and kindness is a choice. We can choose to do that. It's like throwing fire on or water on a fire. Like so much, and I'm not saying it's minimizing it, but look what I'm saying is throw a couple. It's like adding salt to your bland meal. Throw some kindness on that kind of crappy day, right? Throw some, try it out and see what happens. You can't have practice gratitude and be grumpy at the same time. I challenge you. Go try that. I've tried it. It doesn't work. You can switch back and forth, but hey, join kindnessworldwide.org. Go out there, share it with others. There's all kinds of things on that website that you could do to plug in, share it. Let's be a part of this movement. All right. This is the Hounds of Business, Mike King Biz, Kindness Worldwide. Man, that's a triad of goodness. So hey, let's go out there and make some positive noise for a change, dadgummit. Let's do it. I'm tired of negative. All right. So thank you, Kevin. Thank you for sharing that story, my friend.
Well, thank you, Mike. Well, I'll leave you with our mantra: see the good, be the good, go the extra mile, and also a call to action. Each and every day, and each and every interaction, each and every moment, strive to be the reason someone believes in the goodness of people.
You're walking the walk, and that's what matters most, man. You'll know it by your fruit. So hey, everyone, on the live. Appreciate you folks in RVA. Can't wait to tune in next week. It's going to be another stellar one. Until then, have a great day, y'all. Appreciate you. Thank y'all for stopping by. Be sure to follow, share, and like, and send me a message if you had fun today. Y'all come back now.